Welcome to Midnight Story. Tonight's story is the court case that deleted a woman's past. They say your past is what makes you real. Your childhood photos, your scars, your memories, your name written somewhere official, in ink that refuses to fade. But no one ever tells you what happens when the past starts erasing you instead. This is not a story about death. This is a story about something far quieter. Something far more terrifying. This is the story of a woman who went to court to prove she existed. And won. Her name was Evelyn Carter. At least, that's what she believed. She was 34 years old, living alone in a narrow apartment in downtown Los Angeles. A place with thin walls, distant sirens, and a constant hum of life outside life that never seemed to notice her. Evelyn worked remotely as a transcription editor. She spent her days listening to other people's voices, correcting their words, fixing their mistakes. She was very good at it. Because when you spend your life listening quietly, you learn how invisible you really are. The first sign that something was wrong didn't come with panic. It came with confusion. One ordinary afternoon, Evelyn received a call from her health insurance provider. They told her her policy had been terminated. She laughed at first. "I've had this plan for years," she said. The agent paused, then replied, "Ma'am, we have no record of you ever being enrolled." Evelyn felt a small chill. Nothing dramatic, just a flicker. She opened her laptop, searched her email. The confirmation emails were gone. Not deleted, not archived, gone. She told herself it was a system error. Technology fails. Companies mess up. But over the next few days, the errors began stacking like quiet accusations. Her bank flagged her account for identity inconsistency. Her driver's license renewal was rejected. Her landlord asked her politely if she could resend a copy of her lease, because the system no longer showed her name. Evelyn stood in her kitchen that night, staring at the sink, listening to the slow drip of a faucet she kept forgetting to fix. For the first time in her life, a thought entered her mind that made her sit down. What if I don't exist the way I think I do? She requested her birth certificate. The state of California responded 2 weeks later. No record found. She called her mother. The number was disconnected. That shouldn't have been possible. Her mother had lived in the same house for 20 years. Heart pounding now, Evelyn drove there. The house was still standing. Different people lived inside. They had no idea who Evelyn was. They had lived there for 8 years. And according to county records, Evelyn Carter had never lived there at all. By the third week, fear had settled into her bones. She couldn't sleep. Mirrors started feeling strange, not unfamiliar, just uncertain. As if her reflection was checking her for proof. She searched for old photos. Her phone gallery showed empty placeholders. Cloud backups failed. A framed picture on her shelf, one she remembered clearly, was now just an empty frame. She touched her arm, tracing a thin scar near her elbow. A childhood accident. She remembered the blood. The crying. The scar was fading, not healing, disappearing. That's when Evelyn decided to do the only thing that still made sense. She filed a legal case. Not against a person, not against a company, against the state of California. The claim was simple. Her legal identity had been erased. People laughed when they heard. The court did not, because when the judge reviewed the evidence, something unsettling appeared. There were gaps. Unexplainable gaps. Records didn't say she was dead. They didn't say she was fraudulent. They simply didn't include her. As if someone had taken a careful eraser and rubbed her out of reality. Without damaging the page. During the hearings, something else began to happen. Every day Evelyn entered the courtroom, she felt lighter. Not emotionally. Physically. Witnesses struggled to remember seeing her leave. Court transcripts began mislabeling her as unknown female. Her voice recordings sounded quieter on playback. The judge asked her once, gently, "Ms. Carter, do you feel any different lately?" She wanted to answer, but she wasn't sure who the answer belonged to. On the final day, the ruling came. The court acknowledged an unprecedented failure. A legal anomaly. They ruled in her favor. Evelyn Carter was officially recognized as having her identity unlawfully erased. She won. The moment the gavel struck, a strange silence filled the room. No applause. No relief. Just a hollow stillness. Like something had been completed. That night, Evelyn returned home. Her apartment felt larger. Empty. Her name on the mailbox was gone. Her reflection in the mirror was faint, like steam on glass. She sat on her bed, heart racing, and tried to ground herself. "I'm here," she whispered. But the words sounded borrowed. By morning, Evelyn's social media profiles showed no past activity. Her work emails had no sender. Her fingerprints unlocked nothing. She went back to court. No one recognized her. Security asked her to leave. The case file, the case she won, listed the plaintiff as redacted. And then, the scar on her arm was gone. The last record of Evelyn Carter exists in a single audio log. A voicemail saved accidentally on an old answering machine in a law office storage room. Her voice is calm, almost peaceful. She says, "If you're hearing this, then I think I understand now. I wasn't erased because I was forgotten. I was erased because I was proven. The system doesn't correct mistakes. It removes them. And I was the mistake." No missing person report was filed. Because you cannot miss someone who never legally existed. And sometimes, late at night, when the city quiets down, people passing an empty apartment swear they hear a soft voice. Not asking for help, just reminding itself, "I was here." And now, as this story settles into silence, let your thoughts slow down too. Some stories aren't meant to scare you awake, only to follow you gently into sleep. If you enjoyed this midnight mystery, if you felt the quiet tension, the slow unraveling, take a moment to subscribe, and press the bell icon, so these stories can find you again. For now, good night, sleep well.